My name is Ivana Nazarola Siregi. In behalf of the Instructional Technology Department, I will present to you the following prototype of a proposal in response to a need that our school has developed. It is titled Strategies to Support ELLs, English Language Learners, in the Virtual Classroom. Exactly a year ago, school buildings had to close due to the pandemic, forcing school systems around the United States and around the world to establish virtual schools to continue imparting education. This immediately impacted the way we approached instruction. Therefore, the new instructional ways at the K-12 level should reflect this evolution to distance education and/or hybrid education. Instruction must be informed by theories of learning that support the goals and visions of the schools and at the same time the needs of the learners in the digital age. This course was created to meet the need we have at our school to support our teachers in assisting our English language learners, or the way we call it, ELLs, in developing their language skills. The departments of instructional technology of our school system, with the support of the Department of ESOL, English Second Language, will roll out this project by launching a pilot program whose participants will be the fourth grade teachers from Woodbridge Elementary School. According to Morrison, changes in the work environment can change as a result of modifications in procedures or the installation of new equipment. On one hand, teachers were thrown in a different instructional scenario without the appropriate training. On another hand, they have the challenge of teaching. They have in their hands the challenge of teaching second language learners in a virtual environment. This storyboard will illustrate the visuals, text, and audio elements, interactions, navigation, and anything else that will be implemented in this course to accomplish the instructional goals that we have proposed. In order to understand the development of this proposal, I will briefly mention the different learning theories in the online learning design approaches that give shape to the framework that support our proposal. At the same time, I will point out how they are reflected in the course activities. The learning theories we are applying are Teaching in a Digital Age by Bates, constructivism, specifically the social constructivism proposed by Vygotsky, and Siemens connectivism. Regarding instructional design, we have applied ARI as our approach to follow specific steps that we believe will lead us to a successful outcome. When developing the instructional plan per se, we implemented Keller's ARCS approach for motivation and Gagne's 9 instructional events. Finally, we have included Mayer's multimedia design approach to complete our student-centered framework. So now here we have in more detail the learning theories and the design approaches that are going to structure this course. I'm going to start with ADI, which is systematic instructional design framework for the development of our course. The steps that we are taking are first analysis that we already did, and during this stage we defined the main components of the training, all of the objectives and goals, who the audience was going to be, the learning skills, timeline and a clear plan of the course that we were going to take to develop this course. The next step is design, and we align the analysis. We're trying to align the analysis with the design that we've made. And then we try to be creative, and we identified how our training materials will be designed, what technologies we would use, etc. The next step is the development, and during this stage, we created the content, we created a storyboard, this one that we are presenting to you today, and all of the training materials that are going to be used. Then we started developing the learning course using e-learning authoring tool or uploading it in a learning management system. Our next steps are going to be the implementation, and during this stage we will deliver the course to the learners. Before we launch it, we are going to test everything. And the final step is the evaluation, where we collect all the feedback for the training. We are going to try to identify the different areas of improvements and try to come up with a solution. The new instructional approach at the K-12 level should reflect the evolution of distance education instruction. Must be informed by theories of learning that support the goals and visions of the schools, and at the same time the needs of the learners in the digital age. So according to Bates, in the digital age, these are the critical learning elements: well-defined learning goals, clear timeline of work, appropriate workload, regular instructor communication, a learning conducive social environment, a skilled instructor who motivates learners. And considering that the focus is to train teachers, Bates states that the main challenge then is to ensure that the teachers and instructors are aware of the best practices and that institutions have processes in place to ensure that guidelines for quality teaching are implemented and followed. We can find this on page 615 of Bates' book. Now, under constructivism, the role of the teacher is that of a facilitator who provides authentic and relevant experiences that allows students to draw their own conclusions and meanings. Another constructivism assumption is that learners are actively participants in the process of learning. Constructivism assumes that learners build personal interpretations of the world based on individual experiences and interactions, according to Edmer and Newby. Another critical and more contemporaneous theory of learning that we have applied to this course, to the development of this course, is connectivism. A key principle of connectivism is that learning can happen across online networks. The teacher poses questions to guide the learning and to encourage conversation among students and between the students and the teacher. And this is what's going to happen during the discussion boards. Then learners are free to go to other networks to find further knowledge that support their learners, their process of learning. Learning beyond transmitting information stems from the sharing knowledge among the learners and everyone involved in the process. It goes without saying that multimedia plays a critical role in the development of this course. According to Meyer, the combination of illustrations or pictures with text or words elicits a more meaningful learning than just realizing those elements standing on their own. The instructional designer creates an environment or a subject matter that contains multimedia elements to represent concepts and ideas, as well as interactive functions that provides the learners with the ability to navigate and explore on their own and at their own pace. Finally, I believe that Gang's 9 events of instructional design integrates most of these elements discussed above to create an effective online learning course. We will be discussing this on the next slide. Since our goal is to design a comprehensive e-learning experience, we decided to implement Gagne's 9 instructional events to craft our instructional plan. Gagne's 9 events of instruction include research-based conditions needed for learning to take place. The first event is gain attention, and some of the things that or activities that you're going to see in this course that reflect this event. It's a thought-provoking questions. We're going to tap into learners' prior experiences through the different reflections on their practice, and we are also going to provide a Padlet page for them to share their ideas. The next step or the next event is inform learners of the objective, and we're going to do this at the beginning of every module. We are going to show the relevance of the content, state objective and learning activities, and describe the required performance to be successful. The next event is stimulate recall of prerequisite learning, and they're going to be reflecting on their practices, and through this we're going to tap into the background knowledge. There's going to be conversations around these topics, and then we have presenting the content, and to reflect this event, we are going to provide a variety of engaging formats. The information is going to be scaffolded, and the learners are going to explore multimedia applications and examples that the instructor will provide. The next step is providing the learning guidance. So we're gonna do this or demonstrate this by providing modeling, how to, for example, how to create the activities or examples on how to create the activities. We will provide visual representations. The support will be scaffold to where is a point where the learners are going to do it on their own, and discussion boards for each of the model. Then we have number 6 event, which is eliciting performance, where the students will apply knowledge to an scenario. In this case, gonna be their own classroom. They're going to apply what they're learning in their own instruction right away. They will develop projects and writing assignments, and they will the learners respond to questions to show their learning. The next step is providing feedback, and the feedback will be provided by the instructor by written form during and also during the office hours that is going to be provided. There's also going to be peer review, and this is all going to be done in a constructive way. One of the most important a critical element of feedback is to offer the learners with next steps to improve. It can also be a conversation where the learners also realize what the next step will be to improve the performance. Then the following step is assessing performance, which is going to be through the different, it's going to be done through the different assignments, such as the writing assignment about second language learning approaches, and also the different multimedia that they will create. The instructor is going to provide clear rubrics for them to follow. And the last event of this approach is enhancing retention and transfer, which is going to be done in our course through a variety of practices, providing a variety of opportunities for the learners to practice. They will also have the opportunity to implement the new skills right away. And one very critical component and goal of our project of our course is to build up a network, connect the teachers, and besides the conversations that they're going to have on the discussion boards, we are providing a Padlet for them. It's going to be open even after the course. It's going to be their Padlet where they can keep communicating, they can keep sharing ideas. The shared attributes of the different motivational concepts integrate the acronyms ARCS: attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction, representing Keller's 4 categories of learners' motivation. We will gain their attention starting with a meet and greet at the beginning of the course. There will be reflections on their current practices and on the need to improve their instruction. They will have the opportunity to build professional networks. The materials will be presented through interactive multimedia applications. We will try to make it interesting for them. There will be important, relevant discussions, and they will provide it with diverse activities. Then the relevance of the course lays in the fact that learners will be implementing their skills that they are acquiring right away in their instruction. There will be modeling to show usefulness and the choice of strategies to implement in their practice. Then the learners will gain confidence because we are going to tap into their prior knowledge, so they will be building on that prior knowledge. They will again implement what they're learning right away, which is going to give them confidence. The learning will be scaffolded. Clear rubrics for their assignments will also be provided, and the feedback offer will be constructive in a way that next steps for improvement are going to be provided. And then they're going to show satisfaction when they acquire the knowledge and instructional skills. Again, network building, they will also gain recertification points. They will be provided recertification points, and again, clear rubrics. English learners have the opportunity to engage in academic and social interactions with their friends and teachers and the staff at the school. They develop social and academic language through this collaboration. Vygotsky's social constructivism suggests that learning is problem solving and that the social construction leads to this solution, the solution to this problem. And that's the basis of learning. It's negotiation of the meaning. The difficulty that teachers at our specific school uh, faces is to recreate this environment for the virtual English language learners. And we can see this in the results of the WIDA test and the surveys provided to teachers. Our target audience is going to be the fourth grade team, which includes 5 general education teachers, 2 ESOL teachers, 1 special education teacher, and 1 gifted educational teacher. They all hold a Virginia State teaching license in their respective endorsement. So the purpose of this proposal is to provide teachers with the trainings that they need so they can acquire the knowledge and skills required to provide the instruction that integrates language learners in the mainstream, and also to support the development of academic language command according to their English level. Based on the needs and the difficulties mentioned before, the instructional goal is the following. At the end of the course, the fourth grade teachers at Woodbridge Elementary School will have acquired the necessary knowledge and skills about language acquisition and instructional strategies to support English language learners in the virtual classroom. The course will last 8 weeks and will be divided into 4 modules of 2 weeks each. Each module will consist of attending a Zoom session for live discussions after reading or exploring materials, applications, websites, and completing assignments asynchronously set up in Canvas. Learners will also participate in asynchronous conferences and discussions that will promote collaboration and critical thinking to further reinforce the content and skills being learned. The next step in the is the implementation of the instructional strategy they are learning in their own virtual classroom, and then finally discuss and reflect on results and instructional practice during the following synchronous class and the next steps. Interaction in online learning is a critical element because it allows the learners to share their ideas on various subjects and topics, or talk about the knowledge and skills they are learning. Student-led online discussions typically motivate deeper understandings as well as yield interest in personal applications, concepts and theories. Um, some of the activities that are going to promote interaction in the course are a discussion board that will be posted in Canvas, where the teacher is going to pose a question and the students will respond to the question, and then respond to other peers. The instructor will meet with the students every 2 weeks to introduce the objectives and talk about the assignments and the new knowledge that is being introduced. During this time, the instructor will show examples of the different applications that they're going to be learning. They will discuss how to use it, and also the instructor will meet with learners um, every 2 weeks for an hour, what is called office hour. And during this time, students are gonna hop in and hop off the office to ask questions if they have any doubt, if they want to discuss something about the content with the instructor. This is a good time for the instructor to guide the learners. And then finally, the learners are going to share all the cumulus of knowledge and ideas and projects that they put together um, on a Padlet that was created with that purpose. I think it is important to briefly discuss the course progress because it's a scaffolding process. In Module 1, the learners are going to be introduced to second language acquisition approaches. They will learn about it. They will reflect on their current practices, and they will compare with the practices that they are learning. There will be discussions on Canvas, less formal discussions on Padlet, and then they will close this module uh, by writing a paper about second language acquisition. Then students or learners will move to module 2, where they're going to learn about voice and video threads, specifically Flipgrid and VoiceThread. And they're going to use them as implement them as tools to support language development in the virtual classroom. There will be readings, they will follow tutorials and written tutorials, video tutorials, depending on what's best for them to learn. The teacher or the instructor will provide examples. Uh, uh, the teacher will also model for the learners. And at the end, they will create um, an activity utilizing one of these um, applications. This will be shared also on the Padlet, and the Padlet is like a network where they will connect, where these Padlets will stay open even after the course is closed. Then they will move to Module 3, where they will learn about interactive applications that they can use in the classroom to improve the students' literacy skills. So they will read about this. They will explore the applications. They will learn about the applications. There will be modeling by the instructor, and the instructor will also present examples, and at the end they will create their own activity to implement right away in the classroom. Then when we move to module 4, everything we will put together. The learners will create a mini lesson that they will they're going to implement in their instruction right away. There will be peer review, more discussions, um, and of course they will receive feedback about the mini lesson, and they will post this also on the Padlet. Okay, so as stated before, at the end of the course, the fourth grade teachers will have acquired the necessary knowledge um, about language acquisition and the instructional strategies to support English language learners in the virtual classroom. We will have four modules, and each module will have their learning objective. And for module 1, we have demonstrate understanding of language acquisition by completing a chart with these descriptions of language acquisition approaches. And then the learning objective 2 is to create a voice-thread learning activity that incorporates strategies of language development support such as questions, sentences, sentence stems, and suggested expressions to be used by ELLs. Moving on to learning objective 3, which is the objective of module 3, respectively, and it is to create a reading writing multimedia interactive learning activity that incorporates strategies that elicit language development support, such as fill in the gap, complete the chart, match items, and or sentence stems. And then, as we said before, we put everything together in module 4, and the learning objective or the learning outcome for this module is to design a plan that includes activities to support the ELLs in the virtual instruction. So here I'm providing you with an idea of how the format is going to look on the Canvas pages. We have the title and objective, the different subject matter content, which are in this case we have different articles, and then the activities under each week and how what sort of assessments they're going to be completing. For the first assignment, and based on their readings, the learners will create a chart where they will compare the different approaches, and then they will write a reflection comparing their current approach with a more appropriate learning or instructional approach to support the language learners. So here we have module 2. It's the same format as module 1 because I try to keep it consistent throughout the course so the learners get familiar with it. And we have the same elements. We have the learning objective, the subject matter content with the different readings, and the applications, tutorials that they're going to explore, and then the activities by week and the different assessments. So now this is a rubrics for assignment 2, which is a part of module 2. where they are learning about voice and video thread applications. They're going to create a learning activity. Um, they will have a rubric provided for each assignment. In this case, a criteria is response to the task, the clarity of the instructions that they provide, if it's easy to understand, and then they write a reflection about their experience. And Module 4 is the same format to keep consistency throughout the course. In this case, the subject matter content is limited to watching or reading the tutorials of the applications such as CISO, Nearpod, and they're going to create an activity using them. So here we have the rubric for assignment. Um, 3, where they will create an interactive reading, writing, learning activity to promote literacy in the language learners. And as you can see, the rubrics is very similar to the assignment 2 because they are both about an application or an interactive website. So here we have module 4 where they put, this is the point where they put everything they have learned together. I keep the same format even though they have no content, new content is going to be just a review, but to keep consistency, the format will be the same. They still have 2 weeks to go through some activities to close the course. So here we have the last rubrics, and these are the rubrics for the mini lesson. This is just for the creation of the mini lesson. The instructor will have another set of rubrics for the observation, and of course, the learners will be provided with them in advance. So the learning system management that we will be utilizing is Canvas. Every week they will have announcements that will be posted on the front page, and this is how it may look. And then down here, it's an example of how the discussion will look. So here you can see the different instructional materials. We have video tutorials, we have written tutorials, there are different articles, there are also video tutorials and written tutorials based on the levels. For example, here we have newcomers for beginners, and there are, because some of these teachers may come with some knowledge of Nearpod, but there are also Nearpod for advanced users. So in this case, we are, first of all, we are trying to reach different uh, preferences when it comes to learning, or we are giving them opportunities to learn the materials in different ways, video or in written form. So here we have different examples of the activities that the students will be performing as part of the course. For example, we have the Padlet collaboration page where they will be posting ideas and they will share ideas and questions in their own projects. We have the discussion boards where they will answer, respond to questions that have been posed by the instructor, and then um, start a conversation among them. And here we have a Flipgrid activity for ELLs. These are some of the things that they will be creating during the class uh, to explore these applications. The total cost of this course is $6,700. That includes $620 for the course design, $2,250 for the development of the course, and then we will spend in approximately $3,850 for the course implementation. In the folder that I gave you, you will find more details about the cost of this proposal. Once this proposal has been approved, we will be hiring the personnel needed, setting up the technology, developing the course, and opening the registration. The implementation of the course will take place from August 22nd to October 16th approximately, and once the course closes, we'll be conducting evaluations and providing recommendations for future courses.